Another day, another siege battle. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another online siege battle sent in to me by my Discord. So I want to give them a massive shout out before we start this battle. They've been sending me some really epic battles from all matters of games, whether it's Warhammer, Attila, Rome 2. It's just a whole range of really awesome replays that have added a lot to the channel. So yeah, big shout out to them. And if you guys want to be a part of these battles in the future, if you want to fight side by side and see yourself on the channel, then you can do so by joining my Discord. The link is down below in the description, and as I said, they play a whole range of games, so I'm sure if you don't own all of them, you'll still find a chance to be in one of these battles. So yes, today we are back with more Thrones of Britannia, as we have two defenders, one being from the Scottish Highlands and the other being from Middle England, aka we have an army of Mercians, and they're using a handful of mods, the main one mainly being this double unit size one, which goes ahead and translates in the fact that we have over 20,000 soldiers in this siege battle on an epic Thrones of Britannia siege map. Oh baby, is going to be exciting. So we'll take a nice little overlook. We have the Norsemen attacking. We're going to be trying to invade and overwhelm the defenders along every single avenue. The fortress itself is quite straightforward. We have quite a, we have an outer wall going around the city. We have a few fallback positions like this one right here. We have a small hill there. And then we kind of have the final rear position right here, which is going to be where like the final stand is met. You can make your way up through here, or you can go there and fight your way to the top of the city, which is where the generals are going to be stationary. The defenders do have this great overlook right here with crossbows and also bowmen, so they're going to be able to hammer basically anything that comes into this open area with all of these missiles, and that's going to hopefully be extremely effective. So yes, let's just get straight into this battle. You can see it's going to be an epic 55-minute siege battle. As always, if there's any like large maneuvering, I will make sure that I am the one to go ahead and cut it out, so you guys don't have to watch any boring action. But yeah, this should just be really exciting with all the mods that are being used as well. It should make Thrones of Britannia extremely exciting and ready for good combat. So you can already see that one of the siege towers have actually already been destroyed by the defenders. That's going to be a nice little way to kick themselves off. And it seems like the villages are being burned out, but it's going to be hard for them to really break their way through this wall after losing that siege tower. Now they can use these swordsmen and other infantry that are making their way on into the city to maybe go open the gate. That can be really effective to use them soldiers who are now in the city from that siege tower and basically open the gate from within, do a little Troy. However, the Mercians are going to be sending some spearmen over here to try and meet them. And these guys are like, what, tier 2 infantry, tier 1 infantry, going up against tier 3 retinue swords infantry. Yeah, I feel sorry for the spearmen, but I assume these guys are simply here basically just to try and hold them in place. We've got a nice little push off here off the walls as we have more Vikings flying forward, trying to open this gate up again for their infantry just to pour in. The balance of power as well is extremely in favour of the attackers. Obviously, they are the attackers after all, and I imagine this has been balanced so that the Norsemen, the guys trying to destroy this fortress, definitely have the quality advantage. A lot more tier 3s and tier 2s, whereas the defenders are stuck with more tier 1s and tier 2s with a handful of tier 3s scattered in there. I think that just makes the battle become really interesting. Yeah, ferocious fighting on the walls right now. The Vikings, though, are making their way forward. We actually do have one of the tier 2 retinue spearmen right here. A great defensive unit ready to hold the enemy in place. But the fighting is fierce. How are the Scots faring in the centre? So only one siege tower has made its way to the wall over here against the Scots, and they've got a lot of javelinmen here. Surprised the javelinmen maybe have been brought up here to hammer away at these attackers, because you've got some good infantry here. A lot of tier 3s just raiding and pillaging. Also seems like the gate has also been smashed down by a battering ram, so I think any moment now we're going to see them Vikings pour in. They're clearly just waiting for the assault to happen everywhere. And also we do actually have, we have these gates going down as well. It's not actually a bad idea to do what the defenders have done here. They've basically like given up this area to kind of encourage the attackers to funnel their way through into this open area, and then when they do, obviously all these missiles are going to continue to open up, because I think all of these guys are actually hidden right now, so they actually only know that there's only a couple units here. It might be worth just continuing to hold off this fire until they go further and further in. I imagine this assault though is going to be the deadliest if they can get their infantry in. And it looks like although this is so cool, it looks like they've given up on this assault because they just don't have the equipment to take the walls anymore. So they're having to, remaneuver everything around here. And you're going to see that entire Norse army basically just move over to this side of the fortress, which is pretty goddamn interesting to see that kind of maneuverability. That's all down to one of the siege towers being taken down. That's really cool. I think that's awesome. And also, that kind of stems from the fact that it's a one attacker against two defenders, right? Because that's the case, it means that the attacker has to do a lot more micro than the defenders. Which is why we tend to see more 2v1s, like 2 attackers, 1 defender. Because, the attacking does have to, normally requires more micro. But maybe the attacker player is just, like, superior, so to kind of balance out the player pool, that's what they end up doing. The Norsemen have made great progress already in the city, though, breaking away a large portion of the weaker Mercian infantry. As I said, tactically, what I assume is going to happen is that these forces are going to crush this side of the city and then go over and help out this main assault here, because, as you can see, there are a lot of tier 3 infantry. I'm very nervous of these missiles, though. As soon as they open up, again, I think they're going to wait until everyone makes their way into it before they unleash this trap. And I honestly think that just makes the siege battles really exciting in Thrones of Britannia, is the fact that there's just so many positions. It's basically like the map designer has thought, well, this is a city. It's probably not going to be completely square, right? There's a lot of these fortifications as the towers do go down. There's a lot of fortifications. What would a defender want to have happen? And I really hope that's translated into Three Kingdoms. I hope that not every single map is just square and, just like a normal city. I hope they've got Thrones of Britannia map maker on board there, because they are just so good. They really, really are. Is that another tower going up? No, more infantry is going up. Yeah, it looks like the Vikings are flooding their infantry as these guys have now made their way across. It also seems like the pathfinding as well for siege towers is much better. I'm really hoping the siege equipment as well has made it into Three Kingdoms from Warhammer 2, where you can just simply click the siege tower and then we'll go up it. I don't think that's the case in Thrones of Britannia. I don't think that change made it in from Warhammer. But it's just so nice because, sieges have been kind of buggy pathfinding. Oh, wow, as well, I did not even notice. We actually have some heavy axemen in this little advancement right now. Silver experience heavy axemen. Oh, my God. And the outer layer is already being just overwhelmed by Vikings. And as we've seen in previous battles, as soon as there's a breach point anywhere in the city, you quickly start to see the defenders crumble. See broken down towers there. More infantry just holding off against the axemen. The Vikings are moving towards that Scottish line. It seems like the Mercians have been bested over on this left-hand side, or right-hand side. Yeah, they are in full-on retreat already. Wow, that is pretty crazy. Yeah, they're already starting to pull back, and it's going to be a grind fest up that hill, I think. It'll be exciting to see if they have the quality. The missiles are now just unloading absolute hellfire down upon the attackers as they get closer and closer. They are taking so many casualties as they continue to push up here. I mean, they're really using this defensive terrain very, very nicely. That's crossbows, great armor piercing units as archers up there. Just an absolute shower. The problem is as well, though, that these guys have two decisions. Do they form up shield wall here and continue to move on, but then kind of be caught over here? Oh yeah, no, that's actually really nice here. The Mercians are using the city really effectively and are forming up. Yeah, they are forming up in these choke points. They've got barricades here, throwing down javelins. And, it seems like it took a couple seconds for these guys to really realise they were getting as hammered as they were and move up. As you can see, you have to kind of cut the attacker a little bit of slack when it comes to micro, just solely because he's having to deal with, like, so much stuff, controlling a huge army everywhere. And that's why I also really like the fact that they went ahead and used the double unit size as well, because it means you can have these bigger battles, but you're not having to control as many units. So it kind of makes it easier on the micro. And honestly, I don't understand why they don't just do it for normal Total War games. Like, for like beginner mode and stuff. I guess computer-wise, it's hard for people's computers to run it. But I feel like for new people getting into the game, one of the things they really struggle with is micro. So I don't understand why, just not making units bigger. Like, combining units. So instead of 20 units, you control 10 big units, Maybe that'd be a great way for new people to really get into the game. Maybe there'll be a special mode for that, because I can't imagine it'd be too difficult to create something like that either. But I mean, then again, what do I know? So they're going to be retreating back, getting their spearmen out of there. It's not a bad idea. These guys are probably better used elsewhere. And they're going to be sacrificing this unit of javelinmen, again, just to hold off. Seems like they're having trouble breaking through this barricade. Maybe it's glitched out a little bit. The rest of the city, though, is in flames. I love this mechanic in Thrones of Britannia as they burn everything as they move. There's even like a stone church here as well. There's just so much stuff like this, which is so awesome. Oh, over here, though, we actually have a bit of portion of... Wow, I don't know what happened out here, how this lone Viking unit got caught, but we do actually see the Mercian cavalry engaging them. That's very, very interesting that they managed to catch these guys quite effectively, and they'll be able to surround them and kill that pretty expensive unit right off the bat. They must have been forgotten about. However, the Mercians did not forget about them whatsoever. The Vikings are pursuing them into the city, killing quite a few of them. I think they want to set more fire to more of the city, and they're also going to reinforce this position, which is a really good idea by them. They're sending infantry around the side here to basically just open up this avenue so they can get the rest of their army, and at the moment, these missiles are going ham. I think they are saving their ammunition now, though, as best as they can. Balance of power is still numbers-wise completely even, but as you can see, because of the sheer quality of the attackers, they still have plenty of men. But, you know, it's not like they don't have plenty of defenders either. The defenders, even though they are like mainly tier 2s, they'll hold their ground. They obviously have their hill advantage as well as all these other positions. A lot of these Highlanders as well are really ferocious warriors. So definitely never cut the Scottish out. They also have so many missiles as well. And it seems like pathfinding is not an issue whatsoever with the double unit size either. So a unit of these javelinmen have been surrounded now. I imagine their time is nigh. Yeah, they do not stand a chance. And there you go. Exactly. As soon as we look at them, the elite quality of the troops is just going to cut them down now. And the Vikings are going to be thrown into the city with full force. Indeed, they're going to be able to get all their infantry in. So cool, I'm going to skip ahead until everyone's in formation and ready for this assault. It seems like the outer walls were taken pretty quickly, but I guess that's down to the quality. And because these Siege of Britannia maps are quite big as well, Thrones of Britannia maps are pretty big, they can quickly, you know, devolve into a retreat quickly because you just can't hold all the avenues whatsoever. There's also like a random tower out here, which does look cool, but it's a bit weird with how it's positioned. It'd be cool to have like a victory point out there or something maybe. But cool, yeah, let's just skip ahead and we'll see. We'll bring it back to you guys when any other action does begin. I assume the next action we see though is going to be the assault on this hill and, you know, the slow push up to the final stand, that's for sure. Okay guys, here we go. The charge has started and the Vikings are looking to break their way through the heavily packed streets. The Scottish are not going to easily let them through. However, the fighting is going to be fierce and thick, and I just don't think that the defenders have enough missiles to kill just how many elite Vikings there are. That's also one of the really cool things about the double unit size mod as well, is that the fact that it just means that you can really pack these streets with a lot of soldiers, and that still doesn't take away everything from, you know, all the other positions. Because normally to fill a street like this, you would need like a lot more units just to simply hold them at bay. But now you have these epic shield walls defending away, even though they break shield wall for whatever reason, against the heavily elited Vikings. You can also see that the Vikings have burnt a large part of the city as they've gone through. Surprisingly though, that it's down to 22%, so they're missing supplies? I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be morale or something? What does supplies do in Thrones of Britannia? I maybe missed this update. Or maybe it's more campaign related? I don't know. Let me know what that is in the comments down below. I'd be interested. They also lose a bit of melee skill as well. It's really not that big. That should be more important, I think. A lot more important. Also, like, how is the city not more burnt as well?
Our warriors have lost the will to fight.
That's not good that some infantry is already breaking. Oh my god, it looks like whenever I zoom in on a unit, they break shield wall. There you go, reforming it again. So why can't I just be, like, in shield wall constantly? I don't understand why they don't do that in Thrones of Britannia, because it looks so cool. And that's, like, the main aspect of the game. Anyway, I'm going to stop complaining, because I feel like I complain about that feature quite a lot. It just seems really, I mean, maybe it was just too hard to do in the game, so they just decided not to. Also, look how awesome that looks. The amount of men here, all just ready to fight and die. Shield walls, the sheer amount of Vikings pushing up, the fire in the background. Imagine being at the back here, just waiting for your time with a hail of arrows coming down as well. It's just brutal. But the Vikings definitely have the quality to do this, right? They have so many tier 3 infantry. They can almost be quite reckless with their men. And that's what I like to see, because you wouldn't assault a fortress if you didn't have the overwhelming advantage, because, you know, you could just lose so many men. So it's nice to see that the attackers do have a lot of soldiers and they can kind of make mistakes. And I think it's also quite nice because it is a one attacker, two defender type of thing. It's quite nice of them because it means that the attacker doesn't have to be, you know, the best micro of his life to win. He can kind of be a bit reckless, a bit careless, just because he obviously is controlling so many men. And it's up to the two defenders who have superior micro and maybe a few other things to bring back into their side. So the assault is going to basically be over these three positions right now. We're going to have this position right here, which is going to be, you know, holding this hill. With quite a few men, what we have, some of these levy spearmen, tier 3 levy spearmen, though good. Some retinue axes and also retinue swords. Up against a smaller contingent, I would say, of Norsemen. Then over on the left hand in the centre, we have kind of the shield wall of sword warriors tier 2 going up against some tier 3 infantry all the way down the line. And then over on the far left-hand side, we have the final assault, which again is going to be scattered with tier 3 infantry, most of which is exhausted and shaken. And then we'll be fighting again loads of tier 2s and also a tier 1. We do have the Royal Mercy and Bodyguard, though, with their kite shields being brought in, I guess, to rally the men somewhat. How is also the missiles looking as well? So there's a few units with a couple missiles left. We have javelins, but these crossbows and archers are dwindling. You're under 50%. This one's actually almost out completely. And this is really just the first assault, you know. The Vikings still have plenty of infantry ready to push up in reserve. They really, really do. And if the missiles are so focused on this position as well, which they are, yes, they're going to be winning here, but these other sides are going to be struggling quite heavily to withstand much that's coming in. And you can see men are starting to break, you know, bit by bit. We're seeing soldiers routing, just cannot hack it anymore as the fighting does continue. Again, I'll make this map a little bit smaller. We can always tactical map whenever we do need to see. Oh yeah, that's gone down as well to -5. What is supplies? Like, is that, I think that's supposed to be like a campaign thing. I feel like only losing 5 melee defense or melee skill, considering how much you need to do to get to this point, I feel like it needs to be, you know, a bigger hit on morale and stuff, really. Because it should be punishing, right? I feel like this settlement damage should be punishing. Because it basically, the defenders have retreated back to the inner layers. So they've given up all of these outer walls, right? So because they've given up all of these outer walls, they should be punished for it. Because, you know, they've retreated to more defensible, favourable ground, but they've let the city burn. And that's what this right here should represent as we get a Mercian cavalry charge into the rear of the Vikings. Are they going to lose many horses doing this? A couple try. Oh, they're losing a ton trying to pull out. They lost a large portion of that cavalry right there with that one rear charge. I'm not sure if it was worth it. But they're going to be getting out of there now, trying to withdraw their men as the assault continues everywhere. I mean, it's just a horde, more infantry being brought in to the fighting. Also, I should mention as well that these players who play right here do play much more for fun rather than like competitive matches. They play to create awesome replays to send in to me, which is what kind of I prefer. I prefer more of a cinematic, enjoyable experience that way, rather than like heavy micro kind of, you know, every single click matters type of thing. I think you guys know, and if you're here on the channel, you'll probably agree. You know, it's much more about creating these epic scale fun battles where people are just having fun and not taking it too seriously. Because I think this is much cooler right here than seeing like 1 or 2 units being sent in at a time, you know, and being shot by missiles. So I just know I'll get someone in the comments saying, oh my god, the attackers are just being shot here, you know, it's so bad. But like, it's all for fun, right? It makes it look so much better than if just one unit was being charged up this hill and trying to assault the position. At least that's what I think, and that's the ethos I have for the channel for sure, because it just looks amazing. The city as well is very heavily burnt. How much melee skill do units have, out of interest? So this one has melee skill 40. Yeah, like, the city is pretty fucked up. I mean, I guess 6% is quite a lot. I don't know. Like 6 melee attack out of 40. That's almost, and it's only 33%. I guess when it ramps up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 33% is good. I just feel like it's quite hard to get like that percentage up all the way. And it should kind of encourage players to try and defend the outer city and the outer walls more. Yeah, this is like the major push right now. You've got Axemen up here, Huskels breaking forward. Defenders number-wise are actually they do actually have the advantage. But I think if we see one breach point being created, that's going to just cause absolute havoc. And oh my god, we might see it right here too. Oh, they actually got another unit here. Yeah, this point is very scary for them. And it's being focused by all the missiles. Maybe there's a lot of friendly fire going on. I doubt... Oh, I imagine you can't get through this gap here. If only they could, though. Like, it just seems like... Yeah, it seems like they're kind of blocked off here. It'd be so nice if they could.
That's my blood.
That's my blood. That was awesome. A fighting man, though. Look at that. That is just so awesome. The Vikings are making their way up closer and closer. I mean, in balance of power-wise, it seems like the attackers just have such a big advantage. But overall, I don't know. The defenders have a really, really strong position. Oh, did not mean to show you guys that. What I wanted to do was actually go ahead and turn the sound up a little bit. The music is just a little bit quiet. Maybe it is just on my end where the music is quiet. More Axemen being brought up. Again, great Huskel tier 3 infantry. Well, I don't think they're called Huskels. I think that's the Wessex infantry. But just heavy Viking Axemen. That's what they need to break through this line right now. It's just more Axemen thrown into the fray. The shield wall seems like it's holding very effectively, though, against the Viking advances. Taking out quite a few infantry, which is surprising considering this is like really strong infantry as well. You know, these are like the top tier Viking infantry and they're having a hard time to break through against these guys. You know, you can see them taking down, oh my god, that guy's getting ruined right there. Like slit his arm, breaking his mail armor. Some really nice animations. Oh my god, guy's getting cut down on the floor. The Vikings are having a hard time breaking through this tier 2 infantry. Wow, I'm like super surprised of how much they're struggling. But maybe it's just like simply grinding them down, and once they do grind them down... Oh, I threw his shield in the back as well. Let's actually get down and watch some of these kill animations going off. So there are obviously some nice new ones for Thrones of Britannia. Oh, through the stomach. Out the other end. More men going down as well. But yeah, I mean, as I said, like this unit is holding its own. How many kills is it on? It's on like 129. Considering it's like outclassed tier-wise, they're doing great. But there's just so many missiles back here, and a lot of these missiles are running out of ammunition. Seems like a large focus has been brought over here with more mercenary and cavalry thrown into the rear. I feel like if this side breaks, it's going to be bad. Or what's even bad is if they don't reinforce this position quick enough. Oh, there we go as well. The line has kind of been broken. This is the time the Norsemen need to charge up, engage these unit of Albion warriors who are tier 3 and look very, very intimidating. But I don't think these guys can form shield wall. Yeah, you're seeing this infantry being thrown in, but again, not being in shield wall would be a huge disadvantage. Down to -7 melee attacks. So I guess maybe this is okay. I think maybe it just needs to be more accessible to burn the outer city. Yeah, it seems like the shield wall is really what's keeping these defenders safe right now. It must give some amazing bonuses. The cavalry has basically been completely repelled as more infantry gets itself thrown in. How number-wise are we looking? Yeah, 5,000 men on either side, but a lot of the numbers of the defenders comes from these missiles, and now the missiles are being literally thrown into battle. They're going to get melted by the Vikings. How many? There's hardly. There's a few missiles being brought back to the inner city just for that last stand. I imagine they'll make a retreat as soon as a breach point does occur. But there's only a handful of infantry, you know, left, right, and centre. That's why you're probably starting to see some of these spearmen being brought back as well into the city. And I mean, look at that as well. You still have plenty of infantry left for the Vikings to commit elsewhere when they need to. So. And this left side, I think, is going to be brutal. I think this left side is probably where is going to cause the most damage because, yes, you do have the tier 3 Albion infantry being brought up, but they can't form shield wall. So offensively, they're going to be doing damage, but defensively, they're going to die a lot quicker. And I think, well, that's going to create like a snowball effect. where the infantry on the other flanks have to start retreating back to stop themselves from being completely enveloped. Oh, sliced into the back. And he is done for. Heavy fighting in these streets. And you can already see, like, you know, more infantry tanks being thrown in. The general maybe is having to come in. You've got these missiles shooting as much as they can, but they're going to be out of ammunition soon. Like, the sheer amount of sword infantry is definitely dropping. Luckily, they still have, you know, this is like a real good clump, but I think what we'll end up seeing is this infantry being committed back to either here or over there. So more of the tier 3 Alban warriors, they are indeed. Again, these guys are good offensive units, but I don't think they're as good as these guys defensively. This infantry right here has done beyond amazing. Considering what they're up against, they've taken down over 200 heavily armoured Vikings, so the Scottish have proven their fierce Highland ways in this battle. So annoying they keep on breaking shield wall though. But yeah, all the missiles on this side are basically done for now as well. Yeah, these guys, I think we might see like a big rout because a lot of these lower tier infantry, I mean, these guys are even tier 3, but they're just exhausted from fighting for so long. It says they're fresh, but because of the amount of casualties they've sustained, it's a lot. So here's going to be the big question. Where do the next bulk of this infantry really go? Like, do they send them around and into this or what? Because they've basically outlived all the ammunition. There's only these couple units of missiles still left remaining. I imagine they're being brought back to basically go ahead and keep that last stand going. The Vikings are still fighting bravely on. God, their missiles, though, have been ridiculously strong. Oh, that guy's going to get killed. Smashed through the shield? Yeah, smashed through the shield. Wow. I guess after enough battering, the shields will start to crumble. Oh, my God, I just got sliced. Literally cut in half like a piece of wood. Wow. The Vikings, yeah, breaking their way up again. And look at what they're fighting right now over here. Oh, you said, oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen that. You actually see his intestines come out. Holy shit, I don't think I've ever seen that kill animation. Like, his stomach literally came out there. Have you got, is that a common thing in Thrones of Britannia? I mean, I know I haven't done a lot of Thrones of Britannia, but my God, that was brutal. Maybe it's because he's got cloth armor, so because he hasn't got any proper armor to hold his insides in. I don't know. I also have not seen like any Vikings going down yet either against this unit of javelin men. I want to stick around because, I mean, that guy's getting his head chopped off. I want to stick around to see that kill animation again. That was crazy. These dudes are basically just here as like a plug, a loose paper plug, trying to hold that line for as long as possible. More and more Vikings being committed. Yeah, here we go. Oh my God, this unit of Berserkers as well is back here as well. So I believe that Vikings have been made more expensive in whenever the last patch was in Thrones of Britannia. So because Vikings have been made so expensive, you know, their more elite units are harder to come by, but we can see 3 units of elite Berserkers, golden chevrons. You got another unit back here as well, the general unit as well. Like, they're saving the best till last, and we're actually starting to get a bit of a break over here. 2 units of spearmen falling, and I mean, these Alban warriors and the Alban axe warriors, they're kind of depleted down to half strength, so they could easily start to rout soon enough as the Vikings continue to pursue. And there's also a lot of missiles here as well, which could easily cause like a mass rout if they're not careful. So there's really not much infantry left. You know, even though number-wise, we can see what 4,700 for the defenders, the warrior count. But I would say at least half of them are going to be, you know, archers who don't have ammunition left anymore. That's like 2,000 of their 5,000 men that just are unable to really put up a good fight against heavy tier 3 axe and sword infantry, which I think is pretty goddamn crazy. And also, obviously, especially with the -7 melee attack, which maybe isn't as necessarily as big for the elite units. But for like these missiles, who don't really start off with a lot, I mean, if we take a look, how much melee stats do like these Highland sharpshooters have? So they start off with, what is it? So they have 6 melee attack now, so they only have 14 to begin with. So they're going to be doing no damage in these melee engagements. Like the elite ones, it's not so bad because it's like -7 melee skill from like 40. But when you only have like 15 to begin with, I guess that does really start to rack up. Yeah, more missiles being brought in. As you can see, there's like a nice little last stand here. Some more archers being brought up as well, just soften up the attackers. They're trying to keep their missiles alive for as long as possible, though. But we could start to see another big breach over here. Got some Earl Spearmen and also some swordsmen. Again, these guys, over almost 300 kills on them. They have just done amazing. The Alban swordsmen as well, the elite tier 3 ones are being brought into this fight. It's just whether or not they can grind down, because they are routing. More Norse infantry are being brought back, or it looks like as well the Vikings are going to decide to commit kind of their last little assault right now. Yeah, here we go, the last assault. They're committing everything up here, and also committing another 3 units of infantry around this left-hand side to look to break over. Because all we have to do is make one breach point, right? If one breach point occurs, then they'll basically push the defenders all the way back to that city centre, and they'll have no hope whatsoever. I think that's why they're also holding their ammunition on a few of these guys left as well. You know, a couple left on these guys, a handful on these dudes who are now shooting into the system, trying to kill more of these berserkers. Yeah, and that's probably what they're saving their ammunition for as well, is that the attackers were doing a great job at keeping their elite units back, and the defenders didn't want to waste all their ammunition, so the berserkers would just come in and cut everything down. I really, really hope that the assault can come in, the reinforcements for the attackers can come in before there's a big rout over here on this right-hand side, because you can already see 2 units starting to get closer and closer to breaking. And also, guys, as well, remember there was probably also a timer on this battle as well, so the timer could run out and cause a victory that way for the defenders. That's big. That is really big. But look at this. A lot of exhausted men whose morale aren't good. A lot of missiles. These Alban swordsmen are really struggling as well. Are these only the Alban warriors? But they are struggling. And you can see some Vikings are getting all the way back here as well. Yeah, the Vikings are actually making their way back into the side. I don't know how they've managed to get up here. Probably through this looser side here, maybe. That is brutal. A big rout about to occur here, but more archers are being thrown in. The Highland sharpshooters, anything that can hold the goddamn line is being brought into the fight. And I'm waiting for these berserkers. They're just simply waiting their chance to throw in. But we're even getting the routed Vikings who have come back, brought back into the fight, rested, and ready to go back in. Yeah, big routs over here, but as you can see, these 3 units of infantry going up, getting the berserkers in. That's good. Oh, who's routed? Is Mercia completely gone? No, what is it? Our allies fled, we are abandoned. But was there another player like out at sea? I can't imagine that be the case. So yeah, I wonder, because Mercia is still around, Scotland's still around, so like, I wonder what we are getting. Big routs occurring now. The tiredness of the infantry is just proving too much as the final kind of real big push comes in. Yeah, look at that. Big routs right now. It's going to completely open it. Oh, and as you can see, look at this. They are running. They are fleeing as quickly as they can, because we're going to get the Vikings just pouring in now. Coming around the side, cutting off a lot of this infantry. I imagine they'll be in full-on retreat right now, yeah. That's exactly what's happening. These defenders know that they cannot hold this. Breach points have occurred. And it's up to the Vikings to capitalize on this. They could try and break through here and cut off this infantry if they're quick enough. I don't know if they will be, but everyone else does retreat back. Come on, just quickly commit some more men over here. Block, this is the only exit. They're trying to retreat all their infantry off. They are pursuing them as well, leaving 1 unit back in reserve. Over on this side as well, we have infantry dying extremely quickly. I don't think they're going to be quick enough to block off this infantry from retreating, unfortunately. That would have been a really nice catch throw for the attackers if they did manage to prevent anyone from retreating back. But it seems like they're busy just trying to simply make their way through. It's not like they have a ton of men left. Like the defenders are down to 31. The attackers are down to 3,100 men. So there's honestly not that much. The gap has definitely closed though. And just again, remember, it's even more damaging now that because it's obviously like a lot of the missiles have died, but there's still plenty of missiles still left remaining. And here we go, the Vikings are going to be pursuing them. These guys just trying to get anything out as the breach point. Yeah, there's nothing that this unit can do. They are simply running back to the city centre. I would have loved to have seen an infantry unit brought up here just to cut these guys off. But again, that could be really risky because they could, surround these guys and they could get surrounded themselves. So cool, let's go ahead. Just stick it on triple speed now. Is that unit going to get out? We'll stick around to see what this unit does, actually. I think it's literally just going to get out, though. They are kind of slow, though. And these Vikings are pursuing them. Oh, my God. They are literally running for their lives trying to get back to that city centre. So, actually, before we do triple speed to let everyone get back in position, what do they have left? So, they have some mailed... There's some good infantry left. A couple units of Axemen, Royal Huskels, the general unit. But it's just what this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of missiles. That's a lot of men right there. That's a lot of men right there. We do also have some Kingsblade though, the Scottish general. Very strong indeed. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the attackers might have enough, but there could be a huge mass rout going off as well. So yeah, let's triple speed it until they're ready to commit their final assault, because I imagine they'll bring everything into the city before assaulting this. Okay, the assault has begun on the final layer of defences. The attackers are brought up. They've got their elite soldiers back here again. They're just simply trying to, wait out the enemy missiles as much as they can. There are still a few missiles shooting, but a lot of them are just simply holding their ammunition, which I think is definitely the smartest decision as we get spearmen clashing against spearmen. There is no escape at this point. The defenders have to give everything they have to defend this position. And if they fail, then that is all up. The enemy is routing one. I guess that's a good sign for both sides. Missiles. Missiles are still coming in, taking out some more of these elite infantry. So again, still using it correctly. But giving us kind of what the attackers want. They want to keep these berserkers raring to go, because they'll be the ones who crush through the infantry extremely quickly. And the fact that they have these berserkers, that's probably what's tipping the balance of power so heavily in their favour. But that's a nice little pick off right there. The defenders have taken out a unit of these infantry. Kind of crazy they routed and came back. That seems a bit weird, but now they've got their backs turned, so I guess that's not too bad. We also have the city almost 50% destroyed. That's minus 8 melee skill now. And as we mentioned earlier, that's not so huge for like the elite tier 3 infantry, but that is massive for the missiles. And I mean, what are these spearmen on as well? Let's have a look. So yeah, again, not massive for the missiles either. 35, it adds up, obviously. It is still big, but it's not as big as, like, going from, like, 40 down to 35 or, 10 down to 5. You're just not going to be piercing any armor whatsoever. Infantry as well, just burning as they go, so it's going to be affecting the city even more now as well. No, we actually have a unit. We actually have a general unit, or just a unit of tier 3 infantry for the defenders, supported with their missiles as well. brave missiles. I mean, they don't really have much else, right? It seems like the Vikings are really doing strong. It just seems like they struggled so much due to that shield wall, and obviously being shot played a huge part in the battle, but that shield wall just gave so much great defensibility. But now the Vikings are in their element. The defenders feel like they have nothing really left to hope on. The fire is spreading through the city, and infantry after infantry is being just repelled. But then another wave comes, and then another one. Again, over here we've got more infantry going in, as the infantry just flies in to fight these mailed. I mean, there's still 240 of this elite infantry. We actually do have an entire unit of bowmen. They are only tier 1. I'm just waiting until we get this huge push of this elite infantry, because there's a lot. Also, look at that as well. Oh my god. How just dense that is on the field. That's insane, just how many bodies. You can see there was a lot of archers here, not so much archers over here. And like, I guess there was quite a few archers here as well. And also if we take a look whilst that's going on as well, just like throughout the city on the outer walls, you can see there's actually a minor fights here and there, but nothing too out of this world. This looks kind of good, but no like real heavy dense fighting. Also, yeah, there's a bit over here. And finally, like quite a bit over here, a lot of missile fire there as these guys stand in their formations and get shot. I think we're going to have to see more infantry over here, and that's exactly what we're getting. We're getting a unit of male Huskarls being brought to the fight. And they'll help out as the line just keeps on, you know, rotating, reinforcing. There are, what, 3 archers left remaining, so I imagine these archers will probably be trying to hit these axemen. The axemen obviously do not have great assaulting features right now. What would be really cool as well is as the city burnt down, it would create new avenues. I think that would be so amazing. Like that, once this is burnt down, the infantry can just run through and assault another position. Like stuff like that just would seem like such cool things to have happen. Another 2 units routing, I imagine balanced number-wise. The numbers are still really even, but you know, as we've discussed a million times, it all comes down to numbers and missiles. You know, the quality of troops. The Vikings have so much heavy infantry left, whereas you know the other side has a lot more. You know, heavy infantry and stuff. Again, as more and more units start to break, it's just going to be very deadly. You can see a unit of these Alban warriors being gunned down as well. Lots of infantry. But I mean, the left side is extremely good for them. But this right side is going to be the one struggling. There's more infantry being brought up. And as you can see, we can still have, what, 3 units of infantry. 4 units of berserkers just waiting back in there. So they had time to charge in. And as always, it's going to be kind of a grind fest until the defenders just simply don't have anything left to plug the holes. Oh, right down there as well. Oh, and he immediately gets killed himself after that beautiful little axe hit right there. Yeah, this left side is struggling because there's only a unit of swordsmen here. That is breaking, but we've got more Huskarls being brought up. Yeah, the attackers are really trying to use everything they have at their disposal. Oh, a beautiful gap has gone down, and now that we actually have the general, the Royal Infantry of the Scottish Bodyguard being fought. Wow, that's deadly that he's been brought in. These archers are now shooting. This archer unit run out of ammunition. Oh, but he's actually dismounted off of his horse and is fighting. I guess it makes sense, right, when you're fighting this much infantry. More archers breaking as well. And I guess we got the Axemen advanced in. No, yeah, now we're getting the Axemen brought up, maybe. I'm just really waiting for this huge clump of infantry, elite berserkers, to be committed. I think it's going to be on that left side. That seems to kind of be where they're struggling the most. So let's just quickly take a look. How much infantry do the defenders have left now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? They have 5 units of infantry. Then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of missiles. So they have about 10 units left. Half of which are missiles. I honestly do not know how this battle is going to go down. We actually have a bit of aggressive move right here by the attackers. They're following forward. Where's that discipline? Hold the line. They need to go back and make sure they don't simply get, you know, out of position right here, which is exactly what's happening. Oh no, this could be it. They're chasing down. This is like 1066 all over again. They chase down and then they're going to quickly get hit. Maybe they just did not see this position right here. They expect just to charge forward, but they are going aggressive right here. With the support of a missile fire, that's not a bad idea. They quickly realize they blunder and they are in full-on retreat right now. The full back, they must have been focusing down here on this left-hand side, watching the king fight. And they're in a tricky situation right now. They're being fought on both sides now. Missile fire is trying to help out, but there's only a couple more shots left on these guys. They're down to 4 ammunition, which is probably only a handful of another volleys. Now the Vikings flying with all of their strength. So they are killing a lot of the Vikings as well, though. This side definitely needs reinforcements as well, and that's exactly what they're getting. The Berserkers are flying in. It's kind of risky, but there's only 1 unit of archers left, and they're only tier 1 archers as well, so it's not like they're going to be doing that much damage. So it seems like the attackers have kind of outweighted the defenders' missile barrages now, which is pretty good. That's going to really benefit them. So, but it looks like, yeah, they don't really have much left. Look, the attackers have kind of got everything here. You know, it's like 6-7 units of infantry. That's not a lot. And a few kind of retreating ones. They got one still left to be brought up, which I imagine is being repositioned and then going to be thrown up. So this is going to be it. This is going to be the final push on both sides. And oh my god, what a close battle this has been. It's been kind of grindy, but it's going to be expected. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this so far. If you have, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know you want to see more of these epic Thrones of Britannia siege battles, because they have been exciting. The past two that we've watched. These Berserkers honestly need to be charging. And I wonder why they're struggling so much to actually charge. Maybe they're just being counter-charged right now. Berserkers, I need to be committed in, and the missiles are immediately going to start firing on them. Berserkers, what are you guys doing? Charge! They're being like held up, glitched out by like a handful of infantry. Oh wow, the Berserkers just need to charge in. Here we go, reforming up, and they're going to make their way through these gaps maybe. Yeah, the empty missiles being thrown in as well, just to simply try their best to hull them. But yeah, you can see this unit is getting absolutely slaughtered right now. They're being cut down. I imagine that's going to be huge for the number advantage. Yeah, I think for the first time, for the first time in this battle, we're now seeing the defenders running out of men and not having that advantage. The infantry fight here is good, but as we said, we got 2 units of Berserkers and a unit of Royal Huskers over there on that side. And I don't know, there is a gap appearing here as well. I feel like the attackers could go around the side. They're obviously going to be immediately met here by the probably Mercian General, who's now being committed. Once that Mercian General has been committed, who knows how this one will go down. Because I honestly don't know, like, really the matchups too well in Thrones of Britannia. So I don't know how well the Berserkers will fare against the Generals on the other side. I imagine they'll do very good, because the Berserkers are like the best infantry in the game. Especially with golden chevrons as well, it's going to make such a big difference. As well as that, there's obviously -9 melee skill as well for the defenders. There is only 5 minutes left of this battle, but this one is too close to call. Like, all it takes is a big rout on this side, because they are dropping numbers. The defenders could win this. It's whether or not the defenders run out of men on either side. I think that's going to be it. If either of these sides break, it's over for the defenders. Because if they break, then the other side is going to get enveloped and cut down by elite infantry. But the attackers could easily run out of easily run out of men before then. There's still this entire unit of archers, which is obviously doing work right now. Every kill this archer unit gets is going to be massive, because these guys are down to, like, they've lost 1/3 of their men already. So, and as you can see, them archer volleys are massive. Every single soldier that they kill is just going to be so big. Archer volley after archer volley coming in. This one's like, I mean, it looks like it's so heavily in favor of the attackers, but I just don't think that's the case. I think the defenders might have a chance if they can just, you know, because there's not a lot here. If they can just break one of these units and then come around the side and envelop them, and who knows what will happen. I just don't, I guess maybe it's a bit naive of me to say that, because I feel like it's going to be extremely hard for the defenders to keep this, like, line holding, because I feel like this right-hand side is going to break before anything else. But who knows, maybe there is still a chance. This little charge on the side as well was huge right there. Because they're like fighting these guys on the side. They're also fighting some Royal Huskers as well. So, honestly, it's like anyone's game right now. Only 4 minutes left of this battle, and the general units are looking extremely healthy. These guys are down to literally 2/3 left of their men. This unit still has some ammunition left. Oh, but if this breaks right here, it's going to be bad. I think the battle's been in your favor. This entire battle. The Vikings just need to break up. They can hear cheers, and they're hearing rallying calls over on that right-hand side. I'll leave the camera right here so you can basically see everyone's HP bars. Oh no, these archers are going to rout as well. Yeah, they don't really stand a chance, do they? They're just trying to attack as much as they can, but they're so weak. And that might cause these guys to... They're wavering because of the casualty sustained, and obviously they're winded already as well. A rally being called out, though. These guys have just got a bonus to their stats. That's pretty big. Both the generals are over here. It'd be nicer to commit this Scottish general elsewhere, because if the Scottish general breaks, it is over. Does look like the Royal Huskels, though, are doing work against these mailed swordsmen. Yeah, almost 300 kills on the Axemen. And if that breaks, then maybe they can fall back, bring the general around. These archers still shooting. They have broken that side flank right there. That's pretty big indeed. Yeah, that is massive, because now these Axemen can come flying down into the battle. Yeah, the Royal Bodyguard, though. The Royal Bodyguard going down to 51 men. That is pretty deadly, as the Berserkers continue just to fight their way up the hill against the general. And these guys have kind of regained their shaken, obviously, but they're not routing anymore. Whereas the Vikings, you know, again, they're not very close to routing. But, I mean, these guys are just so exhausted. I imagine the Berserkers just have the day right now. Just because they're obviously got a lot more fatigue left. But, I mean, as I said, like, who knows? One of the archers are being brought up to commit over here just to act as numbers. They're back to routing now. But, you know, even though they are back to routing, they are still holding. So, you can't fault that at all. Morale buffs being brought off from these guys as well. Can we see what's affecting them? Yeah, we have a... oh, that's pretty emboldened. So, attack for infantry and also speed. That's going to be a nice little bonus for them general units. The Axemen, though, are dropping numbers. They're down to 1/3 of their unit rank now. So it's definitely been a bloody day so far. More men rallying, but it's a little bit too late. Oh my god, this unit of archers could come back and try and cause a rout. Yeah, we have a Viking general over here as well, who's going to be buffing all of his infantry. The Mercian general is holding. The archer fire again is just racking up kills. How many kills are they on now? 83, that's a lot. I mean, I guess that's not really that much. I wonder if, because the units have been buffed, if the ammunition has also been buffed as well. I honestly don't know. More men routing. Yeah, here we go. There's this huge rout going on here. I think that's going to be all she wrote. Yeah, we're going to get a mass rout right now. The Kings are going to surrender to the Vikings and probably... Yeah, there we go. Huge routing. There's just nothing left. And there you go. Mass rout has occurred. GG indeed. God, my God, what an epic battle that was. That was honestly pretty goddamn insane. The generals dying as they try and flee. The cowards, they deserve death. And the Vikings are going to win, but with only 4 units left remaining on the field. What a goddamn close battle that one was. Really went down to the wire. I'm excited to see the kills as well now. So let's see who really got the most kills. So we'll start off with the Mercian army up the top. Don't know why it's changing with blob when I click that. But anyway, Mercian army, 77 kills from the general. The horsemen getting a couple hundred kills apiece. And their spearmen were really holding. This one probably being the MVP or these two. 450 on this one and 300 on the other axe infantry. Over onto the Scottish, we can see that their infantry held that goddamn line. Look at that, 572 kills on this one. Their archers as well, racking up plenty of kills. And finally, the Viking force. We can see loads of kills on these first 4 units of spearmen. The infantry pushing up as well. It's really funny though, looking at these the infantry, because there's a handful of these units who just don't have many kills, and they're obviously the ones who got focused. 784 kills on this one, 500 on that axe unit. Really deadly stuff, but really not much left whatsoever. Only 1,500 men left in the end of the battle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.